Hey there, beautiful people. It's Dana, bringing another daily dose. Every day I bring on a word of encouragement or some biblical truth or wisdom from my journey as a special needs mom. But I want to share with you a little bit more about what my mission is behind Special Empowered Moms and why do I reach out to moms, because most of what I share is for anybody. Honestly, anybody could benefit in their spiritual health or, their personal development from listening to the content. And I didn't necessarily find everything in my life to help me be a better person, a better mom, a better wife from channels that were parenting channels. Actually, I didn't find very much information at all on personal development on parent channels. Nothing on special needs mom channels. There's very little out there. And that's really what sent me down that path to create something myself. Because when I was looking for something to help me go through some of the deepest, darkest places of my journey as a special needs mom or a mom navigating extreme parenting situations, there was not a whole lot of information out there. Now, I've been doing this I've been a mom for 25 years, but the special needs mom part of that is been 14 years. And when I first set out on that journey, there was really very little information to help me to navigate that. Now, there were a lot of parenting advice, like, how to help your child, how to, and handle an IEP, how to do therapy, all those kind of things. But there was very little that I found at that time on how to help me heal, how to help me be a better mom, how to help me go from a place of depression and despair to a place of thriving, even in the midst of difficult circumstances. I found nothing out there that fit that category. What I did find is a whole lot of personal development courses and trainings. I have taken, thousands of dollars worth of trainings and courses in leadership and personal development. And I found that it was actually something that I could use to help build a special needs mom, because I believe that we are in sometimes the battle of our life. For some of us, it's for the lifetime of the child. Some of us, it's an extreme situation. It's a season. But I would say most special needs moms are dealing with that for the rest of the child's life. So we have got to be strong in all areas of our life. And I definitely was not that in the very beginning of my journey. So personal development is really key, but first and foremost, spiritual development is really key. So even that, I found no real spiritual or biblical advice specifically for moms or specifically moms navigating an extreme situation. So I had to create all of that myself out of all the different classes and courses and conferences and workshops that I have gone through over my lifetime, but even through this journey as a special needs mom. It was that really inspired me to reach out to this community of moms that I feel are unseen, really unheard, and not most people don't even really understand the challenges that we face. Now, I would say if you would talk to any special needs mom, nobody's asking for pity. Nobody wants you to feel sorry for them. Many of them would say they don't feel like they're special or they don't have anything extra than anybody else. I personally think that we're warriors. I personally think that these women are some of the most powerful women I've ever met. And I may not have, met you in person, but I follow a lot of people online. I know their stories. I'm part of a lot of Facebook groups and different social media groups. And these women are warriors. And some of the stuff that they carry, I don't think the average person can. But here's the thing. If God called you to it, then you absolutely can do it. So many people will say, I couldn't do what you do. You could if God called you to it, because whatever he calls us to, he equips us with. But here's the other thing. If he called you to it and equips you with it, then the enemy wants to come in and steal that away from you. He's going to come in and make you feel like you're ill-equipped. You're not qualified for it. You're less than. And he's going to focus on all the weariness and the battle of it versus the joy and the thriving in it. So I went from that place of despair and I just didn't want to do it. I was angry at God. I didn't want to have to do this journey. I love my daughter very, very much, just like I do all my children, but I did not want to spend the rest of my life in a 24/7 caregiver responsibility and giving up the majority of what I wanted for my life. I was definitely in a victim mentality at that time. God had to really transform my heart, which came from a place of surrender, honestly, before I could see my situation through a different lens. And I feel like if you have something that has transformed you to the place where you're thriving, even in the midst of a difficult circumstances, it is my responsibility to share that with other people. My heart hurts when I see a mom out there really hurting and struggling and they don't know how to get out of that situation. Now, I'm not saying that I have perfect days every day. I don't. I just shared a video about that. I don't always have perfect days. Many of my days are still met with a lot of challenges, and many days are met with things I just don't want to do. But I've changed my viewpoint on that. So Especially Empowered Moms was really birthed out of my desire to find that for myself, and I couldn't find anything that really specifically touched on all the areas that I was looking at, which was spiritual health, mental health, physical health, financial health, marital health, and even having relationship with your other children when you have the majority of your time is spent on the special needs child. So I talk about all those things, but really it starts with the woman, the mom, the wife, the one who, has got the brunt of the responsibility of caring for those children. Now, you might be in a situation where your husband's the one doing that, and God bless them, but most women are the ones that are carrying the weight of that. And whatever your family situation is, maybe you're both working outside of the house. I don't know what that is. But what I'm trying to say is that whoever the caregiver is, that is the majority responsibility of the child's care, that's who I'm speaking to. That one who feels left out, burnt out, the one that doesn't feel like she can live the life that she truly wants to live. And I want to challenge you that if God called you to that, he's not asking you to give up everything. He might be asking you to surrender and look at it from a different point of view. I think that there is a poem out there that a lot of times special needs moms will share, and it's called Welcome to Holland. Maybe I'll link it in the description. It really is about you plan for this really great trip, and then you end up going on a different journey that you didn't want, and you're discouraged and disappointed by that, but you end up finding all the beautiful joys in the new journey. God really had to show me that this journey I was on was really the best one for me. Not what I wanted. It wasn't what I would have thought it was, but it was exactly what was right for me. And it brought me to this place right now where I'm sharing my heart. And so my Especially Empowered Moms is really, it's a personal development journey. It's a spiritual development journey. It really has very little to do with being a mom or being a wife. It has to do with you being the best version of you. It has to do with you being a better human being. It has to do with you surrendering and partnering with God in a place of victory, knowing who you are as the daughter of the King, and then taking up the God-given authority against the real enemy that has been trying to kill, steal, and destroy you. The real enemy that is the one that is causing the depression and the overwhelm and the stress, which is where I was at, when I was looking for help. It was the enemy. So I had to learn who my real enemy was. It was not my husband. It was not, it wasn't even God. There was a time that I was angry with God because he called me to this and I didn't feel qualified. The enemy wanted me to believe I wasn't qualified, but I do see myself now as qualified because I'm not doing it alone. If I had to walk this journey alone, no, I'm not qualified. I could not do this. It is a hard, hard life. But when I partner with God and I partner with Holy Spirit, then I'm able to renew my mind every day. I'm able to take this responsibilities on with a completely different frame of mind. Now, it is an intentional way of living. This is not something I can really let go and once and done, I'm healed. That's not it. That's not how this journey goes. I have to continually train myself, no different than a soldier trains for battle. They don't just learn something in boot camp and then they're done. My son is in the military. He's in the Marines now, but he was in the Navy and he went through both boot camps. But he continually trains. Every single day they do training. They didn't just train in boot camp. They train in case there is something that comes up. They're always prepared in case they have to defend our country. So it's the same thing with a mom. If you know that the real enemy wants to kill, steal, and destroy your family is out there, we cannot let our guard down. We've got to be able to be the gatekeepers of our home, and you cannot do that if you're not healthy. I was not healthy. I was not thriving, which meant my family wasn't thriving. Now, it's not my responsibility to make my family thrive. Let me just get that clear. That's really God's responsibility. But I certainly had a lot to do with the atmosphere in the home. And if I was constantly stressed out and yelling and I didn't love myself, it became the frequency that was in our home. So I had to learn to change that and transform that. Now, not everything in my life changed. I'm very clear about that. There are still things that I'm praying for and standing for and trusting and hoping that God will redeem those things and turn those things around. But my viewpoint of it is different. I don't worry about it. I don't blame anybody for that. I just trust him. I just trust that he's the God who says he's going to do what he promised he's going to do. And I just keep developing myself because the more you understand truth, the more you understand the schemes of the enemy. The enemy doesn't want you to know God's truth. He wants to keep you deceived. He wants to keep you distracted. He wants to keep you in your overwhelmed, weak, broken down state. But the more you understand through God's word who you are and how little power the enemy actually has over you, now he's running scared. So he's going to come and try to do whatever he can to distract you. And if you don't know and you're not trained and you're not prepared for that kind of an attack, it could take you out. So that's really what Especially Empowered Mom is. She's somebody who knows her worth. She knows her true identity. She's walked through a battle. She's done the inner work. She's done the healing. She might be still on that healing journey, but she's never going back to that place of despair. So especially empowered mom is not somebody that just has everything going for them. When I say thriving in all areas of your life, that does not mean that everything in the natural looks to the world like it's thriving. It means your mindset is thriving. Your heart is thriving. Your spiritual life is thriving. You're able to overcome things that come at you. Your roots are deep in God's word, in him, and he in you, and all of that. That's what I mean by thriving when I say that. Nothing takes me out. Nothing's going to make me give up the gift that God has given me in my salvation or even in just everything that I've walked through. So that's what especially empowered mom is. So it really is personal development and spiritual development. I talk a lot about physical too, and making sure our physical temples are healthy and strong. But what I talk about really anybody could benefit from. So I don't talk a lot about parenting, and I don't talk a lot about tips and tricks and things like that to try to help us. I do have a podcast called the Junk Drawer Mamas Podcast, and I co-host that with my best friend Christina. And we do talk a lot about more parenting things on there. But even that, it's about that's where we start. We dig into that junk drawer. We dig into those things that we want to hide and we're ashamed of, or that we don't want to deal with because we don't know what to do with it. Just like when we hide junk away. We go through every week on our episodes, we go through one little item in the junk drawer and we start to expose it, because what is hidden can't be healed. So we expose it, we work through it. We have a lot of laughter and humor, because sometimes humor lightens the load, and we work through that. But ultimately it's so that you can become a specially empowered mom. So somebody going through the junk drawer in the very beginning might not even have any clue of who she is or how to be able to take up her authority, but especially empowered moms does. So everything I bring here, I might be repeating myself multiple times, but it's because of that. I want to make sure that I hit home to you who you are, and to stand by your side and support you as a fellow battle-weary mom, somebody who has rose up from the battle and is still standing strong, your partner on this mission as a special needs mom or mom navigating an extreme parenting situation. So anyway, that's just a little bit more about what Specially Empowered Moms is. And I just pray that this reaches the right people. And just, if you are a mom that tunes in all the time, thank you so much for supporting this. There's so much more to come. God is just really birthing this. It's been years and years building this, and years of healing. This didn't happen overnight, but God is just now starting to bring this out to the light, and I'm very excited for that. But if you are somebody that listens and tunes in, just share this with another mom. This is not meant for us to keep. Just like what I've learned is not meant for me to keep. Once God takes you through something and he allows you to go through the struggle and he transforms you, it really is so that we can turn around and help somebody else. And I pray that we create a movement of specially empowered moms that are always reaching out and lifting up that other mom that feels battle weary and doesn't know where to go and how to get out of the pit that she might find herself in. And then when she finds herself, then she can grab another one and so on. That's that home movement. My upcoming book is called Stand and Fight Like a Girl. And that really is what that was birthed out of this whole journey, coming from a place of despair to empowerment. That's really what I wanted to share with you today. Again, just please share this. I thank you so much for watching and tuning in. And I just love you, and I can't wait for us to be back together again. Remember, the creator of the universe has a plan for you. He loves you. It's a good one. It might not always be easy, but it is a good one. I promise you, and you are going to get to the end of the dark season. I can't wait for us to be back together again. Have an awesome day. Bye.